done.
Yes, I have a question. 3 times I was stopped at sobriety checkpoints, okay? Obviously, when they saw that I wasn't under the influence of drugs or alcohol, then, I have to wait 10 minutes while he runs search. Uses it as a fishing expedition, check for warrants, look through the car. This is way beyond the scope what the United States Supreme Court said. This is an audit. But the PDs are constantly using this. Check the plates, check anything. Check out the car real good, make sure everything's all registered. This isn't a sobriety checkpoint. This parallels Nazi Germany. They're using this as a fishing expedition to go beyond the scope of what was detailed in the United States Supreme Court. And I argued with the cops at the time, each time, 3 times, constantly, and it isn't, just a quick check. By the time they go and run their computers and stuff, I'm ex-military. I'm also, after serving in the hostile fire zone with ex-military police, they're full of it. And I'll tell you something, I don't try to bend the rules in order to get the perk, because you become the perk. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I'm military police.
Yeah.
You don't bend the rules. The law applies for all of us. And you don't bend the rules in order to get a bus.
Right, and I know what you're
A good
saying.
caller is one that's done by the rules are made for both sides.
I agree.
Thank
I
you.
totally agree. If that was, that was a question, I definitely agree. It shouldn't take.
Right, it was. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
The question was, would you support this continuation beyond on a sobriety checkpoint beyond the scope strictly of you smell alcohol or you see that the person's under influence or something, which requires that's a just probable cause because the scope of this particular thing is a sobriety checkpoint for drugs or alcohol, not beyond.
If a person is stopped at a checkpoint and he is under the influence, you're going to have plenty of time to check him out.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, as far as writing up a summons or a ticket is concerned, the officer needs to do in a reasonable amount of time. The officer needs to get it done in a reasonable amount of time, not take forever to do it. I think that's what you were after, right?
So you think checkpoints are good, though?
Let me clarify. See, the Supreme Court, as far as my knowledge, detailed the okay for police to stop at sobriety checkpoints to check for drugs or alcohol, whether that person is an impaired driver, If and when you roll down your window, the patrolman sees you're obviously not under the influence of anything, that should end right there. That's what I'm detailing. Now he's using this as an excuse to expand the detailed scope that the U.S. Supreme Court has detailed to them. And he has enlarged this, I don't have time to discuss another New Hampshire law which forbids the police to do this relative to the hunters and their guns and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what I was trying to detail.
I'll tell you this.
Support the police going underneath your jurisdiction, going beyond the scope of other words, checking to verify that driver, he's not under the influence of anything, you're good to go.
My men and women are not going to perform
Do you get what I'm
checkpoint
getting?
stops. I don't particularly care for them. I think that you get to a point where it is getting very close to being unconstitutional. So I don't agree with a massive stop everybody checkpoint stops. So that's not going to happen under my watches, Rocky and Township. Not only that, it's not really our job per se. Let the state police do that. They want to do that, but not our job to do that.
You had said that your department won't conduct the checkpoints. What's your personal opinion? You're saying is that you don't support them, and as such, you don't allow your deputies to organize and perform.
Right.
Sheriff being the high power of Rockingham County, would you go as far as to try to stop local police, which the sheriff being the high authority over the county, from conducting them? I went down and spoke to Raymond police. We're having a checkpoint tomorrow night in Raymond.
Right.
And I went down and spoke to him, very concerned about it, encroaching on my Fourth Amendment rights. And he went on to say that the Supreme Court ruled, and they said that it was constitutional, and I told him that regardless of what they said, I don't agree with it, and you don't have to agree with it. You can say, well, I think they're wrong, and I'm not gonna do them. You want to say that he has the tools, he's gonna use them, to me, it sounded like just politicians speak. But you have the authority as sheriff to control law enforcement agencies underneath you, local towns. And the sheriff's a high power in the county. Would you go as far as to try to prevent local towns from conducting?
The sheriff has no control over private police departments of the state police. The sheriff is the law enforcement agency of the people. I answer to the people, okay? And state police serves the public, but they answer to state authorities, of which a lot of them aren't elected. And then you have your municipal police departments also serve the people, but they answer to private authorities. I serve the people, and I answer to the people through their representatives. This is who I answer to, the people. Would I investigate? Would I be in favor of investigating a police department who was abusing that power? Yes, I would be.
Thank you.
Am I out of time?
We are very done. Overdone.
I'm way overdone, okay. I'll be in the back. Yeah, you guys can talk to me in the back. All right. Good questions, though, because I'm going to put them on my webpage. I need more.
Thank you.
Very much.
Oh, you all familiar with Sheriff Mack's work?
Just so everybody knows,
Yeah.
we don't have a mic this
Yeah,
time
yeah,
for
yeah.
questions,
So that he gets
if you can
basically
ask them as
what
loud
the
as
actually,
possible or come
how
up
powerful
and
the
then,
sheriff can be
Sean
as far
or
as
Bill,
fighting
if you
off the
have
federal
the mic,
government
you
is
can ask
basically
them
how
the
I look
mic.
at it. As things quickly
The
deteriorate.
thing is, in the state of New Hampshire, we can't control police departments and what they do.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't know how that worked out. That was good to hear.
But I would be in favor of investigating police officers and police departments using that power. I would do it.
Well, they just turn into revenue,
make arrests.
making their tax, they're making taxes.
Good evening, how are you?
Making money. Different world.
Thanks for having me here this evening. My name is Sean Mahoney. I'm going to try to keep my comments as short as possible so that you'll have as much time as possible to ask questions of me, where I am on the issues, and